Big Reginald here. The Cleavers got buffed. Boy am I happy. So let's do a quick little tutorial on the 3-piece knife set for Ogryn. Purpose in kit. The Cleavers are Ogryn's solution to the need for high-ish mobility horde clear weapons that reach surprising anti-armor highs with the right tweaking. They are remarkably versatile weapons with, at last, great breakpoints for both light and heavy attacks and reasonable output into most core targets while sacrificing the least in mobility compared to other Ogryn weaponry. I think I need to say this up front, as weapons in Ogryn's new tree, these are some excellent feeling tools, and I hope you enjoy using them as much as I do. Basics. These weapons no longer have a definitive best pattern, more of a 2 best, 1 okay kind of situation going on. The Mark IV favors mixed combos for all armor types, while the Mark III favors heavy attacks into armor and light attacks spam into softer targets. The lawnmower is back, baby! The Mark VI is in a weird spot still, but it's perfectly fine for anything sub-Havoc 40, so have fun if it's your jam. This suite of weapons has access to the following blessings. Build recommendations. Here's what I've been using the most, but I'm going to provide some alternatives. Modifiers. Having done a bit of poking around, the largest number difference between 60 mobility and 80 mobility is the dodge distance at about 3%. This might seem like a lot, but I've just been trying it out on the range and the difference is barely noticeable, so I'm feeling like mobility is still the dump stat with these weapons, with 60% still being more than enough and everything else at 80. Perks. As best as I can work out, the best perks are still Maniac and Flak, to net those easy breakpoints on key targets like Ragers, Specialists, and Flak Boys. But in what little time I've had to rigorously breakpoint test, I think an argument can be made for Unyielding and Carapace as selections. With the right buffs active, I was able to get a 2-shot headshot breakpoint on a Damnation Crusher. That's not going to be super consistent, but it could still be worth it even in Havoc to net easier and faster breakpoints into these damage soaks, and the Unyielding damage might assist a lot in burning down bosses, with other targets being so easy to kill or stagger that it's not really that important. This is definitely a domain that's going to require some exploration, so we'll look into it later on a stream. Blessings. Just like always, we're going to rank order the blessings, starting with the ones I think are the best and working our way down. Slaughterer is our top tier must-pick choice and always will be. From there, we have 3 options for pairings with this blessing: Thrust, Tenderizer, and Savage Sweep. Savage Sweep is a powerful blessing, but is able to be bypassed as a choice if you have Cleave from the heavy hitter Keystone. If you don't, this is probably going to help you a bit with managing hordes and Havoc difficulty modifiers, but otherwise you probably won't need this, as the base Cleaver, Cleave, is already really solid on Ogryn and Slaughterer booster Cleave anyway, and Ogryn has plenty of control by default. Thrust provides a ton of value in boosting damage into heavier enemies like Carapace Ogryns, with Damnation breakpoints in the range of 2 to 3 heavy hits to kill a Crusher depending on buffs and build, and also helps with staggering those same enemies. Tenderizer, on the other hand, is a bit weapon specific, but easily the most fun blessing that really encourages you to leverage the now quite effective punch into your combos to maximize strength uptime. This makes the Cleavers, Ogryns, and really the game's first multi-button combo weapon. Thrust does stack up to 60% strength, but Tenderizer lets you get a solid 25% strength for 3 swings between each punch. By the way, this feels the most versatile as a blessing on the Mark III due to its swing patterns. After that, in the C tier, is Momentum and Confidence Strike, as solid safety blessings that are especially nice for new players, or players going for really hard content who feel a bit shy about their toughness game. Finally, in D tier, we have Unstoppable Force, Devastating Strike, and Bash. For Bash and Devastating Strike, these are crit blessings on Ogryn. If you don't know, Ogryn's crit is not good by default. Bye-bye. Unstoppable Force, however, just takes so incredibly long to charge up. I tested it on live and it felt horrible and will remain horrible forever on the Cleaver, since all it's useful for is a touch of Cleave, or really a lot of Cleave, on sweeping heavy attacks into heavy armor where the heavy attack sweeps don't matter anyway. Weapon data. So you probably want to know what kind of sweet data tables I have on the subject of this weapon set, and let me stress that if I had any, they would not be from this fabulous press build that I have access to right now, and so as a consequence, if you want to know what these weapons perform like compared to, say, the Zealot peak damage output heavy swords in Havoc 40, you'll just have to take my word for it right now, in that they are quite competitive. And maybe stop by my stream Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. US Central whenever the mods start working in the live build again, which will hopefully be soon. Swing patterns. I'm going to try and tighten this section up because it's normally the biggest part, so let me know what you think. Mark III Bully Butcher Cleaver. For horde clear, a simple light spam attack chain works wonders, weaving in punches wherever necessary. This honestly works against most elite repeats too, so it's quite fun. The lawnmower really is back, guys. You can also do light into heavy 2, which gives you a sweeping heavy attack, handy if you need it. For slaying armor, you're going to want to use heavy 1 overhead followed by special repeating. There is a fun little combo buried in here that goes push attack, uppercut into light stab, followed by heavy 1. These two attacks have a solid finesse and armor pen stat bump and are snappy, but I can't see the value over the simpler combos mentioned before. Mark 4 Cleaver combos. For horde clear on this weapon, you'll need to use push attack into light followed by heavy 2. This lets you repeat the light into heavy 2 chain constantly. Be advised that the special attack punch puts you back into a stab light or overhead heavy 1 and thus cannot be effectively woven into a natural horde clear combo, making this weapon a bit less reliable for using Tenderizer as a blessing. For heavy targets, you can do heavy 1 into special, just like the Mark 3 Cleaver, or you can do heavy 1, light 2, repeating to weave the spicy stabs in. It's quite fun this way. Generally speaking, the first combo is better if you have thrust, and the second combo is better if you don't. Mark 6 Cleaver combos. The Mark 6 still isn't where I'd like it. For horde clear, you basically just want to use either heavy repeating for those big sweeps, or heavy light repeating for slightly faster interactions. For armor busting though, it has two useful but somewhat hard to chain lights. Light 1 and light 3 both do good armor damage, but light 2 has terrible armor damage, and there's no easy way to get from heavy anything to light 3, so that you can cycle light 1 into light 3, say via heavy attack or whatever. It's just got a wasted attack in there no matter what as far as I can find. You can push cancel, that is to say no push attack, into the heavy 1 attack from the other two knives, which chains into light 3, but you have to spend stamina to use this combo, so that's a bit rough. Otherwise, it's just swinging inferior damage heavy 1 and heavy 2 into carapace compared to the heavy 1 from the other two knives. It's not bad, but it's not great, and it still feels like the Mark 6 Cleaver got left behind by the other two for both ease of use and value proposition at the same time, especially since the other two Cleavers with the new Ogryn tree are in the great territory of weapons. Tips and tricks. With enough stagger stuff from the Ogryn tree, you can use 2 special attacks to open bulwarks. Man, I hate bulwarks. Number 2. The special punch can absolutely stagger crushers and maulers and ragers out of their attack chains. Number 3. With a handful of buffs, the special punch can one-shot, headshot dogs and 2-shot, headshot muties. It's actually fairly reliable into most chaff, and you can punch heads off all day. It's really quite funny. Well, not quite off. Outo. Alright, I wish I could have gone a little deeper, but sadly without mods, I'm a bit hamstrung on the data collection front. You'll have to let me know how you liked my truncated swing pattern section though, because I'm always trying to improve the efficiency of these videos and make them easier to ingest without spending a bunch of your time. With that, thanks so much for listening. Warm regards.
Reginald.
I would like to take a moment to express my genuine and significant gratitude to Bonehead for becoming my first Oath Taker level member. Your support really does mean a lot to me and has made it so much easier for me to continue to justify the amount of effort I pour into this channel. I'd also like to thank Miles Williams Lewis, Joseph Davison, Shackleford, and McSpan for supporting my channel through my Adept level membership. Your atypical support really means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. I'd also like to extend a thank you to the rest of my members. Support helps the channel a lot. If you would like to become a member of this channel, there is a link in the description below and a join button next to the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for visiting. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.